Hi, welcome to Donegal Dad. I'm Mark. Today we're going to carry on with our Scalecast and Linka Moulds. We have all the pieces cast. Let's move them to the workbench and assemble some buildings. Here we are at the workbench, which today is the dining room table. So make sure you have your cutting mat down and protective coverings to protect everything. We have all the pieces here ready to go. We're going to build some terraced houses today, so 2 rows of 4 houses to create a little street scene for the layout. So we get the pieces. First thing that has to be done is the pieces, the little bits of flashing of plaster have to be cleaned off. So you can see there's some little bits around there. We just take a craft knife and just go in and clear the pieces out. And then if you have a little bit of sandpaper, if there's some along the edge, just a little light rub just to smooth them off, ready for gluing. So I'll carry on doing the rest of these and I'll come back to you when we're done and ready for assembly. Here we are back at the workbench. We have all the pieces ready to assemble. We have our design template up here. We're going to build 2 rows of 4 houses, terraced houses. All right, let's get on and start assembling. We've got our pieces here. We've got a straight edge. So we assemble them face down because when they've been cast, they can be different thicknesses. So if we do them that way up, they won't give a nice flat finish. So we assemble this way around, face down, just using some PVA glue. Just a little dab. There. And they should fit together like that. And we've got the straight edge of the ruler, put them up against to make everything nice and square. And then we just continue on doing that. I'm going to carry on building up the strips here, and then when I've got them all done I'll come back and we can see how everything fits together. Here we are back at the workbench. I have completed the panels for making up the terraced house. I've also completed one side of the terraced houses, like so. So now I'll show you how to put these together. Right, so before you start using any glue, do a dry fit together to make sure all the bits go together. And we can see there's still a little bit of flashing on that one, so just get your craft knife, a couple of scrapes just to get the raised edges of plaster off. And then that should fit together a lot neater, like so. It's a nice tight fit. So just continue putting all the pieces together. So this is the first floor. There we go. Just make sure it's all together, nice and tight. The doors and windows are the right way up. And then we can start gluing it. So we've checked it all fits together. A little bit of glue on there. And gently put it in. There we go. These are magnetic corner pieces. They basically brace the corner at 90 degrees. Something very handy to have. If you don't have them, I put these in anyway. These are the little triangular pieces used for the roof apex. Just rub along the edges on a bit of sandpaper, just to smooth them off. A little bit of glue. and that will hold it at 90 degrees. Using them adds a bit of strength to the building as well. I'm going to carry on gluing the first floor together. Once that's dried, then we'll move on and I'll show you doing the second floor. Right, you can see here we've had a break. If it's a clean break like this is, you can just simply glue it back together. And once you've done the painting that, it won't be noticed. So just glue it back together. Make sure it fits properly. And then what you can do is you'll have some broken bits. Just break a bit off and glue it onto the back just to give it some strength. Like so. And just leave that to dry. First floor is now dry, so we take off the magnetic corner clamps, like so. See, the structure is now dry and rigid with the corner supports in there. So what we do now is we take the next level, we glue it on. So we run a bead of glue along there and stick it on. Again, before you do any gluing, do a dry fit, make sure everything fits, and then you can start gluing it. So I'll carry on doing that and I'll come back to you when it's done. Here you can see I've put the magnetic corner clamps between the two floors, so it holds everything in place while the glue is drying. And I've also put in the internal bits for internal bracing and strengthening. While the main structure is drying, we need to make the internal walls, and these walls will be supporting the roof structure. For this, because these walls aren't going to be seen, if you've got some broken bits, you can use them. You need to remove these so it fits inside the structure. So a simple couple of scores with a craft knife, and then they simply just snap off. And a rub on the sandpaper just to smooth the edges. There we go, there's the internal walls. So we build them up. Again, glue them together. Put them against the ruler so you have a straight edge. So glue together, and then the gable piece. A bit of glue again. And that, and you want to let that hang over either edge an equal amount, because that will sit on top of the roof structure. I'll let that dry. I'll make up another one so we have two supports inside the building. Here we have the build with the gable ends and the internal supports all glued in place. So now we're going to look at putting on the roof panels. Let's get on with adding the roof panels. So we get some glue, put it on the edges, the centre supports, and the gable ends. So we take the roof panel, offer it up, hold it in place, so you're looking to get it even either side. And likewise with the other side, putting it on, making sure they're both the right way around, and pushing them up so they meet. And when they're in the right position, all centered, hold them in place for a minute or two just to let the glue set. Let's finish off gluing on the roof sections. So we'll put a bit of glue here on the gables again, and along the edge of the strip. And just simply take it, offer it up, hold it in place, give it a gentle push so it sticks with the glue. And there we go. Right, I'll carry on finishing off the other side and I'll come back to you in a minute. That's the roof glued on. Final part to do now is to fit the ridge tiles. So run a bead of glue along the top. And then just stick these in. So they look like ridge tiles. Now I'm not going to stick the chimney stacks on yet, because I need to paint those before we put them on. So I'm going to carry on doing this, and then we'll go and have a look at the tunnel portal and what we're going to do with that. Here we are at the layout. We're going to have a look at the tunnel portal. You can see this tunnel portal isn't wide enough, so we're going to have to do some kit bashing with it. So I'm going to have to make this wider. So to do that, I'm going to cut a section out in the middle. So to get that, turn on its back using a straight edge. Just score it a couple of times with a knife. You don't want to put too much pressure on, because if you do that, you will snap it. So a couple of scores in it, you should just be able to then, and it gives you a clean break. And I'm just going to cut that center stone out. And again, maybe it needs a couple of more scores. There we go. That's cleaned off. Right, now we have the centre stone cut out. We need to see how wide we need to have it and what we're going to use to bridge the gap. So I've got a sheet of precast stone walling here. So I think I'll cut a section of that to put across there to bridge the gap. Here's a piece of the stone walling cut out to fit across the tunnel portal. It was simply done by taking the sheet, scoring down a couple of times, and then simply snapping. So let's have a look, see how that fits. So that gives us enough width now for the stock to go through without hitting the sides. So I'm going to glue this together. I'll shave off these ridges here and glue it together. Here we have some of the completed buildings. You can see using the different molds, you can build all sorts of different buildings. You just have to go onto Google and there's loads of different plans to give you inspiration on what to do. So next time we'll have a look at painting these using an airbrush and a paintbrush. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.